Well, it was a busy week for the Otter swimmers and divers, and we're going to recap the week and talk specifically about diving this morning. Mike Hartwell is in. He's the diving instructor for the Fergus Falls girls and boys, and he has one of his divers, Kyle Rust, in as well. And Mike, how you like doing the double duty, girls and boys? I know that takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. It takes an extra cup of coffee in the morning to get going, but it's been going well, and it's always a privilege to have good student athletes to work with.
And it's kind of a different situation now with the boys than you had with the girls. You're working with more numbers there. How does that translate to practice time?
You know, the first couple of weeks we had to manage the chaos a little bit, but I think we're settling into our routine now, and you know, it's actually a lot of fun. We learn a little bit better from each other, and I'm just very blessed to have 5 boys out this year.
Why don't we start there? Why don't you tell us about the divers you're working with, and maybe just give us a little progress report on where they're sitting right now?
Sure, I'd love to do that. We have Kyle Rust back again this year. He's a junior this year who's been in the diving program now since 7th grade, and is really short up to have a strong year this year. His DD list has really come front and center, and he's just a nice kid to work with. Trailing behind Kyle, we have Michael Osnes, who's back again. This will be his 3rd year of diving, and again, he's really coming on strong. Physically, he's in really good shape, and as we work with continued technique drills with Mike, he's certainly becoming a much better diver. We also have Reed Magnuson, who's a 9th grader this year, and Reed is a completely different animal this year. He's really focused. He's really focusing on his DD. And just the other night, he got up on the board, and without really me prodding him too much, he got up and did a back and a half, and did a really nice job, and competed the very next night in a meet with it. So his DD list is coming along well. And then we have Michael Pasoka also out again this year, who's I'm really thrilled to have him back. He's a real focused young man. He's working hard, and he's also he's got his game face on, ready to win a few meets this year. And probably the best news is we have a 7th grader that came out this year. His name is Alex Siegfried, and he's one of those rare kids that you get that every coach loves, because he has no fear. He gets up on the board and does whatever he's asked to do, and I'm just excited because now I've got a little nugget of gold to work with. So it's off to a good year.
DD list, you mentioned that a couple of times. Tell us what that is.
The DD list is degree of difficulty, and your required elements on the board start at 2.0 and below. And when you get into the optional dive list, you now go from 2.0 and above. And so obviously when you take and calculate the score in diving, the higher degree of difficulty you have, the higher your point total will be. So when you get a diver that gets a list like Kyle has developed, where he has 5 dives on that list over 2.0 and only 1 under, you have a pretty solid list.
All right, Kyle, why don't you grab the mic for a minute there? Let's talk about your diving career so far. Now, when you first became a diver in 7th grade, what kind of spurred you on to get into this sport?
Well, I don't know. I just kind of want to join something new. Didn't really know anything about diving. All my friends were in it. It's like, well, just try it out, see how it's like.
And now here you are competing at a pretty high level, and Coach Hartwell was just talking about the optional dives that you've been working on and the degrees of difficulty. What are your most enjoyable dives? Which ones do you feel most comfortable with?
I really like the back double, and then the forward 2.5 is pretty good. I just gotta work on that a little bit more.
How much time do you spend at practice? What's a typical day of practice for you?
It kind of depends. Like if we have a meet, we work harder just to get through our list, but usually it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
How much time, though, out of the water? I know gymnastics play a big part in this. How much time out of the water do you spend working on that?
Well, like, I try and weightlift every now and then, just get into that. And then just stuff at home, whatever I can do, just warm up.
How much does gymnastics in just being able to tumble play into diving?
Well, like, I know, like, the girls, like, a lot of the gymnastics people are in diving, so I suppose that helps out a lot, like the flips and twists and stuff.
Okay.
How many dives have you mastered, or are you in the process of mastering right now?
I can't count that high.
You're doing a lot of them, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. How do you overcome the fear? You know, Coach Hartwell talked about a young man with no fear, but there is always that fear of messing up a dive and splat.
Yeah.
That water gets pretty hard.
It's just kind of, you kind of roll off shoulders. It's like 90% physical, or 90% mental, 10% physical.
Oh, hoping that he was going to do a Yogi Berra, you know.
The other half is mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, well, that would eliminate us from being divers. It's 90% mental sweats. I don't know if we could handle that. But that focus is so important. And when you're out there, I mean, all eyes are on you. It's not like there's 6 swimmers they're all following, you know. But you got to get over that, I imagine.
Brush off your shoulder and go for it.
Is it nice to have again teammates? Because I know for a while that there was not many divers in the program. Is it nice to have, you know, the 5 guys to kind of bounce things off one another?
Well, yeah, it's nice to have them there. He's like, oh, you know, how'd I do? Oh, you did this wrong, or you did this right, and it's like, yeah.
Okay.
What are your goals this year, Kyle? Where do we think you fit in when you look at sections?
Well, I'm hoping to go to sections. I really want to go state. It's like my goal, and then my ultimate goal as a senior is to break the diving record, which is 273, I think, and my best so far is a 215. So I'm going for at least 250 this year.
So, and again, instead of doing the lesser degree of difficulty dives better, you got to step up that degree of difficulty, right?
Yeah, just throw it hard, go for it.
Now, the diving, of course, as Swed's mentioned, the numbers haven't really been there consistently, but Coach Hartwell, that has to be good to see the points that you produce as a group, because you are a team within the team. You know, you're a team of divers contributing to the overall score of your team, and to know that you can be a big chunk of that has to even make you feel more like you are a part of it.
Yeah, Craig, that's a great point. You know, diving is a sport that contributes to the overall score of the event, and you know, sometimes meets are won by one first place finish or even a second or third place finish, cumulative. So, you know, the diving points certainly do matter.
As far as goals for Kyle, Kyle has some realistic goals here, I think, that he can attain. How about the other divers? What type of goals do you have as a unit and individually?
You know, the beautiful thing about diving is it is an individual sport. So the goals that are set are individual, and each student athlete has a benchmark in which they're shooting for. Some of them are additional dives. Some of the goals are specific scores. I think more importantly, it's that we solidify as a team and that we really understand what representing Fergus Falls is all about in the diving culture that's out there. Because, you know, one thing Coach Uvis has established for many, many years, and that is the city of Fergus Falls. I can tell you, I get to a lot of pools, and so many people walk up to me and say, you are so lucky to be coaching with Coach Uvis. And, you know, if there's any legacy that we can leave with our diving program, it's that throughout the state of Minnesota, people say that those are nice young men and that they really represent the city of Fergus Falls.
You know, back to Craig's point about the diving counting, you know, and you're part of the team. Are you guys feeling the closeness with the swimmers, or are you just kind of the redheaded stepchild? You know, and do you get along with those guys? Is there good, you know, teamwork between the two?
Yeah, that's a great point. The camaraderie is tremendous. You know, having a diving background in myself, I certainly understand that question. Yeah, we are the redheaded stepchild because typically divers by nature are a little different. They tend to gravitate towards the extreme on sports. They're the same ones that like to take and flip their dirt bikes in reverse and skateboard down the hill before that was ever popular. So, you know, from that aspect, we are a little different. But I can tell you the Otter swim team is one team, and the swimmers tremendously support the divers, and we are certainly grateful for that.
Kyle, do you like that characterization of being the kind of guy, the extreme guy that'll go out there and do something crazy?
Well, yeah, I've always been like that since I was a little kid. I just did stupid stuff, build jumps too high.
Don't build a career on that.
No.
Okay. Well, nowadays maybe you can. Oh yeah, you know, they got whole movies. Yeah, I was gonna say. Anyway.
Well, this week was a busy week. Is there any difference to preparing for an invitational like the Otter invite last Saturday, a triangular like you had on Tuesday, and a dual like you had on Thursday?
You know, really it's about getting in the pool and swimming the best race you can swim. You know, we started out the season having meets stacked up right away. Did not allow for us to have a lot of pool time and preparation. So all in all, you know, you have to get in the water, you got to swim hard, and it's all about training and preparation. The next 2 weeks now, we don't have any meets that we have to be on the road to go to. So I think both Coach Uvis and I are looking forward to a lot of time spent in the water, a lot of technique training, and set our sights on January for some continued meets that are coming forward.
Boy, there were some great accomplishments, too, in the water. It must have been some great races that Mike Hurley had in the 50 and the 100 free with the Cameron Hyde from Sartell.
Yeah, it's amazing. That really was a race. It was so fun to watch Mike and Cameron swim, and it's not too often that you have a neck-and-neck race with Mike Hurley being challenged, and it's a joy to watch him. If any of you have not seen swimming at that level, it's certainly worth coming to take a look at.
Kyle, do you enjoy watching the swimming competition? Are you out there rooting pretty loud?
Oh yeah, well, Coach U, that's all Coach U is about, just cheering as hard as you can, go for everything. So it's pretty fun.
I know in the fall, Rachel Appert swam as well as dove. Kyle, any desire to do any swimming events?
I'm not sure.
Well,
I'd like to do them, just so I'm not just sitting there.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to swim.
What about that, Coach Hartwell? Does that cause any problems when you have a diver swimming also?
I'm a little afraid these boys might drown.
Yeah.
No, I'd like them to swim. Swimming is the ultimate conditioning sport. What happens to us is we become time challenged. By the time the swimmers are in the pool and they're doing their sets, and by the time we get on the deck, there's not much left of the day to work with. So, that's always a challenge, I think, at most pools is that is finding good quality time to get in and do both events.
Kyle, I got to ask you just a silly question. That's usually my job around here. Say you're ahead, you got the meet in hand, you've already won, you got a dive left. Do you rip off a belly flopper or a cannonball just to have some fun?
No, you got to start hard, finish hard.
All right. Okay, I just thought since you have it in hand, you do
maybe
something.
If I know I got it in the bag.
All right.
Throw it out there.
I just wonder how many laps of running or swimming or whatever Coach Hartwell would make you do if you did something like that.
I think it'd be a career ender.
Yeah. Well, okay, enough of that. No fun.
Thanks for that recommendation.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry.
Kyle, is there one dive that has been a real challenge for you that you are struggling to kind of get your hands around, that you would like to try to master before the end of this season?
Just twister dives. Anything with a twist in it. I can't really get those down. Work on it, though.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. Enjoy the season. Hope you have a great year. And Mike, sounds like you have a great group of divers to work with, and it's going to be fun to see them as they progress and contribute to this team as a whole and how they do individually. Good luck with them.
Thanks, Craig.
Mike Hartwell and diver Kyle Rust from the Otter Swimming and Diving Team joining us, and getting a little breakfast in before the diving practice. I hope that works out for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sink right to the bottom.
Exactly. And Sweats has some girls hockey to talk in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're going to take
the tri-captains.
We're going to take a quick time out, come back and talk about some Otter girls hockey. Again, the tri-captains are here. We're back with more. Don't clap for yourself now. Come on.
Helping them.
Yeah. We're back with more on AM 1250 KBRF after this quick time out.